Imagine owing more money than your entire economy produces in a year. And instead of panicking, investors line up to lend you even more. It sounds backwards. If an ordinary person kept borrowing while drowning in debt, the bank would eventually say no. So why do countries like the United States or Japan keep borrowing trillions of dollars without hitting a wall? And more importantly, why does that confidence sometimes disappear almost overnight? Here's the strange part. Governments don't usually repay all their debt. They refinance it. Think of it like replacing an old loan with a new one, over and over again. As long as new investors keep buying government bonds, the cycle continues. The debt doesn't vanish, it simply moves forward in time. That sounds almost too easy. Because it is. The system only works if investors believe they'll be paid back, not because the government has a giant vault of cash, but because they trust the country's economy, its institutions, its central bank, and its ability to collect taxes in the future. Trust is the real currency. The United States owes well over $30 trillion. Japan's debt is more than twice the size of its economy, yet both still borrow at massive scale because markets believe they remain reliable. But history shows that confidence isn't permanent. Argentina has defaulted multiple times. Greece looked stable for years, until investors suddenly demanded much higher interest rates. Borrowing became more expensive. Debt grew even faster. A financial problem turned into a national crisis. That's the hidden math. When interest rates stay low, large debts can feel surprisingly manageable. But when rates rise, governments must spend more just to pay interest. Money that could have gone to healthcare, infrastructure, or education starts flowing toward old debt instead. It's like using one credit card to pay another, except the numbers are measured in billions. Here's where the irony appears. Countries with the strongest reputations can often borrow the most. Yet borrowing more also means becoming more dependent on keeping that reputation alive. The moment investors begin to doubt the story, everything changes. Interest costs rise, markets become nervous, the debt becomes harder to refinance, and a problem that looked invisible for decades can suddenly dominate headlines. So can rich countries borrow forever? Maybe. As long as people believe they can. Because in global finance, the line between stability and crisis is often much thinner than it appears. The real question isn't how much debt a country has. It's how long the world keeps believing that debt is still safe.